Now the search for sunken treasure. For a company that was born in Utah, Cross International likes to get its feet wet. Cross has a knack of finding things in lakes and oceans, things that other people have lost. Now, perhaps Cross is on the verge of its biggest find to date, one that could change history and make some people very rich. Cross has come to Key West, Florida, the southernmost point of the United States, a tourist mecca. But they're not here to see the sights. They're here to search for sunken treasure. About 10 miles south of Key West, in a search zone 2 miles square. Their challenge is to find what two other companies could not: evidence of a very old shipwreck. They're after a Spanish fleet that ran headlong into a hurricane in 1622 and was lost. The most famous of that fleet, the Atocha, was discovered in the mid-1980s by treasure hunter Mel Fisher. The gold and silver that he brought up, worth an estimated $450 million. Fisher found the Atocha in 60 to 80 feet of water, a relatively easy dive. Today, the Cross team will be in 350 feet, a very dangerous dive. John Cross is trained for the deep. Even so, he could only spend a few minutes on the bottom, followed by hours of decompression on the surface. It's just not worth the expense or the risk.
If you lose an ROV, it's a sad moment because it was a lot of money, but everyone's still going home to their families.
Powered by twin fans,
they're 150-watt thrusters.
With lights and high-definition cameras, this remotely operated vehicle, ROV, can go 1,000 feet down and stay as long as needed.
It's very maneuverable.
Still, on this day, its mission is not easy. Strong currents constantly push the ROV and test John's skills as a pilot.
Once you get into the current, it's like you're fighting into a river. And the second you start to turn, the ROV will spin on you or do a 360 degrees once you hit that current, and we'll grab it and try to send it off in some random direction.
Now his hours of struggling to keep it on track are rewarded. The first object comes into view on the otherwise barren ocean floor.
Your heart just stops for a minute because, you don't know what it is.
At first glance, it could be a crusted over log. But then look, right there, the rectangular slot of a ship's mast. Then the first of two cannons comes into view. John, still fighting the currents, flies the ROV over the top of one and moves in for a closer look.
We're very, very excited about what the prospects are.
Jim Cross believes they've found what they were looking for.
The captain of the Atocha and the captain of the Margarita wrote in their logs that were recovered that they saw two ships turn over and go down in deep water. And this is the deep water, where the Atocha and Margarita were in about 80 feet of water. These were in 350 feet of water.
The muzzle of this cannon has detailed decoration consistent with Spanish ships of that period. But then there's this on another cannon, an octagonal barrel. That's not consistent.
Brent, we don't have all of the answers yet, but this is a real mystery.
Which is why Jim committed to the expedition, for the mystery and the history.
I kind of put myself back in history and just imagine that these ships, as far as you can see, huge ships fighting a hurricane, and slowly they're sinking. And the world changed because of that.
You know, this is just the first step, a very big step, but just the first step. A lot more has to happen before Cross can even think about getting those cannons off the ocean floor and, more importantly, seeing what's buried in the sand around them.